All right, guys, welcome to the show. It's the Flopbuster Movie Show live with Tony, Gabe, and Victoria. This is a little different. It's a work in progress. I see Gabe's got his little nice background there. Me and Victoria just got our boxes today full of a bunch of crap, so we're sorting through it still. But this is gonna be pretty fun, man. I'm excited to be back.
Excited to be back for sure.
What's up, Victoria?
Nothing. This was last minute for me, so I took a few notes, but they're probably scattered.
And I say we got Good Real Hunting, we got Brett, we got Connor. Thank you guys for joining. This is going to be our new night, Thursday nights. So we're excited to have everybody on the stream. It's a little unorthodox, but we're going to roll with it.
Yes, we are. Well, because we can't compete with Joe Bob's.
No.
Like, we found that out the hard way, like 2 weeks ago, right? When his show came on, and then all of a sudden, like, our normal people, like, nobody showed up. It was just me and Tony just talking.
Which was fun. It was fun talking about the Northmen, so that was cool.
Right. It's like nobody cared about Eggers. They're like, you know what? Joe Bob is on.
Which is cool because we want to, like, I was watching Joe Bob all the time, and then with moving back to Illinois and stuff, I kind of lost track of that. So it's cool to, now we can watch it along with everybody else. So that's going to be awesome. On Friday the 13th of all days. So we're going to be live tweeting, me, you, Victoria. And who knows, maybe we'll start doing an after show too, because like I said, I really love Joe Bob.
That is what I'm saying is we should definitely do an after show. Just have everybody come and join us here and do an after show.
Yeah, no, I think that would be sick because I don't think anybody's really doing Joe Bob after show right now. So it would be cool to jump on that while we can.
Right.
Good place to kick back, whatever it is. You love drinking Pepsi. I'll crack open a beer.
Oh, hold on. No, today we're sponsored by Doritos Tamarind.
That's perfect. That's for that's perfect after a nice hot day. Maybe some carne asada.
Look, let me tell you something. I got home from a hot ass day of working outside in 90-degree weather because we hit the 90s. We've been hitting the 90s like the entire week here in Chicago. I got home. I had a shower Pepsi. I took a shower. I had a shower Pepsi. It felt so good.
Yeah, no, that's like the perfect summer drink. Brett's saying, well, hey, what's up, Destiny? Connor, you got to see the Northman. And then we have Brett saying, glad to have you guys to tweet along with for Joe Bob. It's so much fun. Wish I was Mountain Time. Yeah, it's weird. I have to abide by that now. So it was kind of weird trying to schedule the show because Gabe's on Central Time. And then there's Eastern, but there's like two different kinds of Mountain Time. So I don't know what's up with that. There's Arizona and then whatever the hell Colorado does too. So
yeah, you guys are just weird out there in the West.
Yeah, everybody's just doing their own thing.
We got like 6 different time zones out in the West.
Yeah, no, it's true. There's a couple of things I want to talk about for the show.
Okay.
There's a lot of news topics to run down. Real quick, I guess we can run down our thoughts on Multiverse of Madness because we didn't do a show last week.
I will have
so Gabe, what's up, Victoria?
I said I'm gonna have to sit this one out because we had just got Multiverse of Madness. Yes,
oh yeah,
I sit it out because we just got to Hawaii, and Hawaii is technically I feel like I'm still on Chicago time sometimes, and so Hawaii is like 6 hours behind Chicago. So we got down, sat down, good night.
But you've had that problem sleeping during movies this week, though. So you can't blame it on Hawaii.
Victoria's always had this problem sleeping during movies. But she'll, like, at least to be fair, I will blame, like, it's her sleepiness and not the movie because she'll fall asleep, like, within 5 minutes. It happened in Antlers.
It happened
yet. Yeah. Multiverse Madness, I accept.
You probably don't need to do those reclining chairs, apparently, because once you recline, it's done.
I know as soon as I sit down, I'm like, yeah. I'm going to fall asleep probably. And the one in Arizona has heated seats. Like, oh, y'all just want me to sleep here, I think.
Which makes no sense. It's like 100 degrees there year round. Why would you want heated seats?
That's true. That's really true.
You should have air conditioning seats.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's come up with that yet. Somebody has to. And maybe it'll prevent like smell, like sweat on the recliners too.
So my entire plan though is at some point is I do want to open up a movie like theater, like a little independent thing, show like some of my favorite stuff. Like do like a Flopbuster movie theater here. Like a little But yeah, probably get some air conditioned seats in there.
A lot of big guys are going to be in there, so we need air conditioned seats. We need
Oh,
something
for
to
sure.
circulate the air. Okay, we'll keep it brief because the movie's still new. There's still a lot of rumors and spoilers all over the internet. So I'll run it down because we got a lot to talk about with the news, and then obviously this is an all-out slasher episode, slasher sequels, our favorite slasher sequels. So quickly, I'll just say I really enjoyed Multiverse of Madness. I love Sam Raimi. He totally brought it in this movie. Couple of things I wish were beefed up, but that's more from storytelling perspective. But in terms of Sam Raimi bringing the horror, he totally brought it, and this is one of the stronger. What are we in? Phase 4.
Yeah,
one of the stronger Phase 4 outings for sure, up there with No Way Home. So thumbs up for me. I really enjoyed Multiverse of Madness. So a shit ton too. I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was a super strong. Obviously, I have a review of it on my TikTok. If you guys, it's the same. I don't know, Flopbuster 83, my TikTok handle, I believe it is. But yeah, I saw the movie. I loved it completely. It's a horror movie, and I don't want to give much away because, like you said, it's still fairly new. Just came out last week, so I don't want to give anything away. But yes, it is a wonderful movie. A couple of cool cameos and stuff like that.
Right.
Nothing too crazy. Like all the stuff leading up to it, and this so and so is going to be in it, and so is like nothing too crazy. Stuff that you expect to be there is there.
Yeah, right. It's a very much a self-contained Doctor Strange story, which is like what I was hoping to get. I didn't want a big multiverse event, guess who's here clip show, because that's not what a movie is. I want to see a movie with Doctor Strange, a bunch of horror things going on, and maybe a couple cameos, and that's it. And that's what I got. Right. I was happy with it.
So I think I put this on my Facebook status, right? I thought it was hilarious. We finally have a Latina superhero, and they give her the power of immigration.
that is true. That is true. America Chavez, who cool. I guess we'll see what she brings. This is setting up a lot of stuff for Secret Wars. I'll say that. Not a spoiler for the movie. I'm guessing off the top of my nerdy head. That's about it.
Right.
And then let's see what's everybody talking about here. We have the air conditioning seats would be a great idea. The Lost City, we covered that on the show. I know that's on Paramount right now. If you haven't seen The Lost City, you're looking for a fun romantic adventure movie. That's a really fun one, man. I love Channing Tatum, so it's a no-brainer.
So we're gonna we're not gonna go see it, but you're gonna check out Magic Mike 4?
100%. Is it 3? It's 3, right?
Is it 3?
3. Yeah, it's 3.
Huh.
I think he's directing it too.
So is it extra large, or is it gonna be like Magic Mike Magnum?
I think it should be Magnum, but you know what's weird is these movies surprisingly have a lot of depth. For all the internet jokes that people make about, it's like guys stripping, they're like character studies about this dude who happens to be a stripper, and it's like they're also really funny too. So
right. Hey, listen, I enjoyed it.
Okay, so I want to run down a couple of newsworthy things real quick. Obviously, the big one we'll get to, but we're going to get to something else first. We're going to get to our sponsor, Doritos. You can drink those now. Gabe, why don't you translate it in Spanish, the ad for our Spanish listeners?
Hold on. Let me get my announcer voice on, and I'm going to do this in Spanish.
Yeah.
Si usted ocupa un refresco muy refrescante, un refresco que quiere que su salud esté muy bien, tome Doritos.
Yes, exactly that. And that's our sponsor, Doritos. So thank you, Doritos. They sent me and Gabe 13 or 14 packs of 24 packs. So we have a ton, especially for I
am currently drinking the 1.5 liter version of Doritos. So that's as big as I make them.
How many? Yeah. Okay, so real quick, I want to cover something that I saw recently. It's Friday the 13th. We all love Friday the 13th here. I'm sure it'll pop up in the show once we start talking about slasher sequels. The lawsuit's happening right now. I read an interesting article from CNN. Weirdly enough, CNN Business was covering an update on the lawsuit, and it's even more crazier and trickier than you would imagine. Victor Miller is obviously the one of the parties suing here, right? So we got Victor Miller, and we have Stephen Cunningham, right?
I thought it was Sean.
Sean Cunningham. Sean Cunningham. Yeah, Stephen's
I don't know.
Stephen Dorff. So Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller are going at it over the Friday the 13th rights, which obviously that puts fans out. They can't see the movies, nothing, video games, everything comes to a stop. Victor Miller's lawyer spoke for him today, pretty much putting out what they plan to do with the franchise, right?
Right.
According to them, they want to make Friday the 13th, but they can't call it Friday the 13th. It would be called Crystal Lake, whatever. And they're allowed to use Kid Jason, no hockey mask, and no mention of Friday the 13th. So it would be like a prequel with Pamela Voorhees, maybe. That's as far as what they can do. And here's the kicker: they can't release the movie outside of the U.S. So
What's
they
the
have
point?
to find a distributor that's willing to release a movie, not nationwide. So say goodbye to streamers. Can't have that. Movies are all about that worldwide ticket. Distributors love China. They love releasing movies in these big foreign markets. Can't have that. So Victor Miller has a pretty uphill battle. I know something that they were recommending in the article, that he just comes in with a backdoor deal with Sean Cunningham. That way they both walk away with something. But New Line owns the rights to the name Friday the 13th. So yeah, this is a really weird lawsuit. I'm guessing Sean Cunningham can use Friday the 13th in name. He can use a killer. Can't name him Jason, but he can use the hockey mask. So that's what it comes down to. So if anything, Sean Cunningham's got the better deal.
Right, but I mean, what's the entire point of this? I mean, you've alienated the Friday the 13th fans at this point. You know, what would be the point in making a movie without Jason in it, or vice versa, without Friday the 13th in it? I mean, like, okay, I don't need Friday the 13th. We have Jason X, we had Jason versus Freddy. So there were some movies without the Jason in the title. But if there's going to be a reboot or a requel, you need to have the Friday the 13th thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's just insane. These copyright laws are getting crazy. People suing everybody.
It's weird. What do we think, Victoria? What do we think of this?
Well, we were kind of talking about it earlier, and I did like the idea that you said to me. It was kind of like they can make a movie, and even if they didn't say Jason's name, I feel like we don't even need to hear it. We know it's Jason.
Right, and if you're Sean Cunningham, you can do that. You can use the hockey mask. Yeah. You have a killer going around.
You wouldn't even need to call it Jason. I think like we would know, and I would still like it. Like,
but this is an issue they ran into when they were making Warner Brothers was making Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X. They couldn't call it Friday the 13th up until Paramount was working with them, and then they got I don't know what the hell goes on with these rights with Friday the 13th. It's all chaos. It's weird.
Do you think they could get away with saying Voorhees at least?
From what I know,
well, Pamela Voorhees,
Victor Miller owns the name Jason Voorhees, and he owns the name Pamela Voorhees. So he could. What they plan on doing is they either plan on doing a movie, or in the quote they mentioned something along the lines of Bates Motel, which I don't think works for Friday the 13th. I think it's very much Friday is what it is. It's the ultimate slasher movie. It's kids going out having a good time. It's a hangout movie, and then you have a killer in the woods killing off each one of them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's going to be strange, and Good Real Hunting. Brett brings up a good point, and where it's just like the only problem is that newer audiences will not know anything, and Hollywood likes to get that new audience. It's true. Yeah. They want to audiences are going to come in and be like, "What is this? Is it Friday the 13th? Is it not?" They don't know the inside baseball talk that obviously bigger fans know. It's the same issue that Halloween 2018 had when it first was announced, right? Where they're like, I thought Laurie was dead. I thought she wasn't dead. It just imagine that times 200. That's this case. It's because it's on a level where you're alienating one side or the other, and fans are going to come out. But what happens after that? Either way, it's a lose-lose situation for everybody, not just for them, because for them it's about money, but for fans it's just yeah, you support it, but what's it going to be?
Well, how much money can you make if you lose out on streaming? If you lose out on international? Now, granted, exactly. I don't think Friday the 13th plays well in China or
right. Streaming, I think would be big. Streamers are big on these slasher movies,
right?
So imagine there's no again, I don't know what it would mean, but I'm guessing it for Victor Miller, it would be Mexico, Canada, and America can be the only places you can see his version of Camp Crystal Lake, I guess it would be called.
Which,
that's what they were referring to it as in this document.
We Mexicans, we love ourselves some horror, so it would play really big in Mexico.
Yeah, they would come out in droves. It'd be like the next Cinco de Mayo or something like that. But I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything? I got really awkward. I was like, I thought Victoria was going to say something. It's so weird at pinpointing who's going to say what. Switching to this version now, we got to get used to it. Because now, like before, I know Gabe when he's going to say something, and when you are, but now it's just like awkward silence if nobody says something.
I mean, I think I don't see us getting a new movie.
No, I don't either.
I wish they would update the game though. The game was fun.
I think the franchise is all but dead. I think it's dead. That's all I'll say. Besides these cool fan films that come out, that's about it.
Yeah, fan films.
So that was Friday the 13th. We covered Multiverse of Madness. Now, obviously, the big one of the day that came out. When did this news drop? Yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Hayden Panettiere returning for Scream 6. I feel like this was something that was hinted at forever. I know people have claimed that Wes Craven knew all along that she survived from Part 4. Radio Silence pretty much puts it right in bold letters in that little Easter egg they throw in the movie. This is cool. I'm excited for it. She was great in Heroes. I like Hayden Panettiere. I haven't seen her a lot lately. I think she'll bring something really cool and exciting to the role.
You haven't seen her since 2018 when she was last in Nashville.
I don't think I've seen Nashville either. Hey, as long as she's keeping herself busy, but I'm excited to see. No, I'm going to let Gabe go ahead and have his bone to pick with Hayden Panettiere because apparently he's got a bone to pick with her.
All right. It's not a bone, okay? Look, I feel sorry for her, okay? And don't get me wrong. I don't condone domestic violence at all, okay? So I'm just going to throw that out there. People are going to come after me. Do not come after me. I don't hit girls. I don't condone people hitting women at all. But she is a victim of domestic violence. Her boyfriend beats her up on a consistent basis. She has the domestic victim mindset where she just recently came out after her boyfriend's latest episode and said, oh, he's a changed man. So my issue is this, is she is a huge celebrity with a huge voice. For her not to say, you know what, fuck this, I'm done with him. How am I going to let another man beat me and continue to be with him? And it's like, I feel like it sort of okays domestic violence in a sense for her fans or for whoever follows her, whoever likes her. Like I said, she's a great actress. I just don't condone that sense. And again, it's her choice, it's her right, but I just feel like it's sort of, I don't know, it's weird to me to see a huge celebrity like her, like, be involved in, like, let her man beat her up in a sense and her be okay with it because she got sent to jail and she never went to court and to follow up on it, so he got released. And then they got back together and he beat her up again.
I'm not laughing at that part, but the way you said it. Victoria, what are your thoughts on that? But I have no thoughts on it, so we'll move on. Just something other than what Gabe said.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I've had a lot of friends who have been like that. Obviously, they weren't on her level, but it's hard to leave that kind of thing.
I know it is. It's just, and I'm not saying I don't want her to be in the movie at all. Don't get me wrong. I love, it's just, she has the power to change a lot of people's lives and not, be like, hey, if you are going through this, speak up. This is what I did, instead of saying, oh, I'm back together with the guy that beats me up.
Right. I don't have any thoughts. I didn't even know about this until Gabe brought it up today. And I was just like, oh. Anyway, back to Scream 6 news. But no. I mean, that's a shitty situation. I don't know. I don't even know what to think about that, honestly.
I want to see the last. I don't want her to be the opening kill. That's all I know.
I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna be quiet for the rest of the show, and I'm just gonna watch the Friday the 13th.
So Gabe just canceled us. Everybody came back, and then Gabe just canceled us with his hot take on domestic abuse.
It's not a hot take as far as saying. I'm saying don't beat up your woman is what I'm saying. Just don't beat up your woman.
I get what you're saying though. When you have that voice, I think it's so hard when you're a celebrity because your life is just out there and there's things that you don't want to be put out there. And for her, just like in the case of Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, all that stuff, it's on the center stage. It's on the internet. Everybody knows about it. So I bet it's hard for her to come back from that, come back into movies or TV shows, which is probably why, like you said, that she hasn't been in anything in like 4 or 5 years.
He's probably got something really bad against her too. If she's like, has the power possibly to leave and is still scared like like anyone else.
Right.
But
no, of course.
I think it's cool casting. I think this is one of those situations where I think it's cool to give the fans what they want. We're gonna bring up something because I keep seeing it all over the internet.
Doctor Strange gave the fans what they wanted. And I'm not gonna say anything else, but with their casting choice, and I hope that they continue with that casting choice going forward.
Yeah, like it was cool. Like things like this, I'm cool with it because there's seeds there that the filmmakers leave and go, this is totally in our hands. Here, look at this. This will be cool moving forward. They did that with Scream 5. Obviously, she's now coming back, so that's going to be awesome. It's awesome news that they're bringing her back into the fold, whether she is the opening kill, like Victoria's referencing, or if she's going to be a main player in the movie. A lot of these legacy sequels like to bring cast members back in bigger roles.
Right, but here's my issue since we're talking Scream, right? And like you have 8 recurring legacy characters. Like, how are you going to introduce like new characters, or is this just going to be like a legacy sequel where you just get the people from Scream 5 plus what? Like, and I don't know.
From what we know, I don't think Neve Campbell is on this, and I don't think Courtney is on this. As far as I know, there's no official trade that's come out and said they have signed on. So until then, I'm going to assume it's the 4 characters surviving from the last movie, the 4 new characters, and Hayden Panettiere. As of now, the movie starts shooting in a few weeks. So if they are a part of this, they would have to be a part of it now.
Brett mentioned that Samara Weaving would be cool to finally bring on.
Well, Samara Weaving was supposed to be, I believe, the lead in the last film.
Someone else.
But if we got Samara Weaving, then we wouldn't have gotten Jenna Ortega and like all these different actresses that bring that Latina flavor. So that was cool that they added that into the film. I don't like this idea that I keep seeing. But Kirby, thumbs up. That's cool. I'm excited for it. Hayden Panettiere, it was a steam sealing character. So cool, awesome. This Stu Macher thing I keep seeing on Twitter and stuff is dumb. It's one of the dumbest like theories I've ever seen.
Don't tell people how the fans are gonna fan.
No, fans can fan. But the whole point of Scream 5 is about toxic fandom not getting what they want. So they fucking pitch these characters into the old house reboot style and start killing them off, right? The movie's about toxic fandom. It's about Star Wars fans. It's about all those people that got pissed off at Rian Johnson about The Last Jedi and all that shit. So they go online and they're going, if Stu's not in this, we riot. We want Stu in this movie. We want Matthew Lillard. What has Matthew Lillard been in?
The Good Girls.
That's it. What has he been in? And another thing, the character died. He got a TV smashed on his head. So does this become like the Fast and Furious now, where no, they didn't die? We'll find out on the next film. Can't do that.
They're going.
Fast and Furious makes sense.
Listen, they're gonna do the Wayne's World, redo the.
At this point, they might as well. Hayden Panettiere makes all the sense in the world. You never saw that character die. They left the seats for it to be open, and I haven't heard this, but apparently Wes has said that Hayden Panettiere's character did survive. So I don't know how true that is. I got to do a double check on that. But from what we know, Stu is dead. And it takes away from the gravitas of the first film if we go, never mind, he was alive and he's the big bad all along. Like, this isn't Scooby-Doo. Like these characters just don't survive. You pull the mask off and like, oh my God, it's Stu.
It's Shaggy.
Yeah, no, it's a stupid idea. I think it's one, the filmmakers know it's a stupid idea. And I'll eat crow if it happens. Maybe I spoke it into existence and it happens, but I really hope it doesn't happen because it just takes away from what the first film does. Hayden Panettiere being in this takes nothing away from Scream 4. Scream 4 is still that movie. But
you know what Matthew Lillard needs to do? Is he needs to do a black and white Logan style of Scooby-Doo.
I pitched this to him. He didn't like it. He didn't like the idea. He needs a new agent, so maybe he should have taken that from me. Should have taken that idea. Then he wouldn't have to do these fan expos. But no, I think Hayden Panettiere is a great idea. Steve Mocker, bad idea. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Please do.
No.
I love Stu. I'm getting a little woozy here.
It's a great character. It's those are all great things from the first movie, but it's just like these weird stan accounts where they like make the like profile picture like him and stuff, and it's just like it's weird. It's like weird what the internet does.
Would you guys rather have Skeet Ulrich come back or Stu?
But he is back.
Well, and but like full on.
None of them, because to me, it goes back to that Fast and Furious thing where it works in those movies because they go up into space, right? Vin Diesel's talking about family and like they're.
Why are you giving away spoilers of?
It's been like almost 2 years now. I could give away spoilers to Fast 9. If you haven't seen it, you should have seen it. But I don't even know why I'm taking so long on this. But like anyway, I keep seeing that all over.
You felt more passionate about Stu than I did about the whole
It's all over. It's on Facebook. It's on like every group I'm in. I'm just like, why do people keep saying this? And why are other people like chanting this on, saying fans have pull now, fans can make this happen. Look what happened with Doctor Strange. And she's like, yeah, but that makes sense. That movie makes sense in the way that they use it. This does not make sense other than you met him at a fan expo and now you want him to be back in the movies. That's it.
Hey, it's the Screamverse now.
The Scream.
The multiverse of madness.
The multiverse of madness. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what do they think in the chat. I see them go. Brett saying some stuff. We got Mia. Hey Mia. Mia's in here. What are they thinking? They agree. Brett and Mia agree. So like, I got some fans in that. So
they didn't leave with what I said.
Should we get down to the main topic? Should we just jump in?
Probably.
Yeah, let's get down to it.
We're 27 minutes in, and we haven't even started talking about the best slashers of all time.
No.
Best slasher sequels.
Which we already know already. It's Freddy 2.
So I'll let you go ahead and start off with that while I bring up my notes because, it's at one point that would have been a controversial pick to say, but now there's this, ever since that documentary, there's been a lot of people saying that it's one of their favorites. So you've always been a fan of it. So I'll let you go ahead and say.
Well, I'm a huge Freddy fan to begin with. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the guy. I have a Freddy tattoo. I live and die with him. I think I put him as number one in my Mount Rushmore of slashers. So the second one, for a while, I had it ranked pretty low, but upon rewatching it, it is pretty high. It is Freddy as one of the scariest. It doesn't follow his same formula as the other sequels have gone. And as far as the first one, it doesn't even go that way. In this movie, he's actually possessing somebody, which possession for me is always going to be one of my favorite subgenres of horror. I love anything, possession-wise.
Right.
And so in this movie, that's what he does. He's possessing, Jesse and taking on his body and then making him do what Freddy wants to do. So that in and of itself is scary and makes it one of the best sequels as far as the slasher is concerned. It mixes in the slashing with the possession.
No, totally. And I was showing Victoria this video this morning because I love in Nightmare 2, there's, Wes had nothing to do with that movie. They kind of turned it out very quickly. But what I love with Nightmare 2 is the practical effects are some of the best in the franchise. Mm-hmm. Kevin Yeager did the effects on that. He was very young. It was his first Nightmare movie. Freddy looks the best in the entire franchise in Nightmare 2. In my opinion, I love New Nightmare, the way he looks in that. But main timeline Freddy, he's got these cool gargoyle-looking like witch eyes, the big nose. The burn marks are a lot more detailed. So I'm with you on Nightmare 2 in terms of a lot of its practical effects, a lot of the showiness of it. I'm not a big fan of the story, but I think it's got one of the best openings and closings of the franchise. The beginning and the ending are very iconic.
Right.
So I'm with you on that. I think it's a solid pick because, again, it's become a lot more popular lately, but it's a movie that people were way too hard on because they brought up the whole sexual innuendos and the homoerotic vibe to it, as if it wasn't there on purpose, which it clearly is.
It clearly is. And you know what? That all plays into the entire way the movie pans out. And it's fun. I mean, back then it was a taboo subject matter, and now that everything's all out in the open, it's a fun movie to watch and see and enjoy. And look upon like the 80s and what was, what you couldn't say and what you had to do innuendo wise.
No, I agree. I think it's a fun one for sure.
I don't think I've seen that one all the way through.
Did you fall asleep?
Probably.
Probably fell asleep. I'm going to stay with you. Actually, no, I'll let Victoria go first, and then I'll go.
Is it okay that it's different than Friday? Or sorry.
Yeah, because I'm going to circle back to it, but I figured go ahead, get yours out the way, throw one in there.
One that you brought up eventually, because I was coming up with ideas that you haven't seen it, but it's Sleepaway Camp 2. Have you seen it, Gabe?
Sleepaway Camp 2? No.
Oh, it's good. It's on YouTube for completely free, I think, the entire movie.
I haven't seen the sequel. I haven't seen it. There's what? 4 of them? 3 of them?
4.
4? Okay, I haven't seen the sequels. Yeah. I've seen the first one. Love the first one.
So the second one doesn't have Felissa Rose in it because it's an older version. So basically, she still goes by Angela, but I'm pretty sure her last name's different. She's working at it's called Camp Rolling Hills as a counselor. And everyone thinks she's kind of weird, but it's like, as soon as they do something that she doesn't like, she's killing them off. And this one has like a lot of kills in it. A lot. I think it's really done well. Like the first one's iconic. So like as a
does she still have the penis?
Sorry? Yeah.
Does she still have the penis? Okay. That's the important part.
So I think as a follow-up movie, it does really well. Like it's not as popular, I don't think, as like, Friday Part 2, Halloween Part 2, which I'm going to talk about as well. But
which Halloween Part 2?
1981.
Oh, I think Connor. Let me pull it up.
Connor and Brett were talking about 2009, which is, I had to be in the mood for it for me, but I still like it. But
so Real Hunts, you mentioned Connor. Does H2 count? Brett saying I consider that counts. I think it does count. I think one of these guys are definitely going to bring up H2. We'll give it some love on here.
Also, I actually did get it wrong. She actually, because I was reading through the IMDb just so I had some notes with me. She's gone through therapy, electroshock, and sexual reassignment surgery. So she does not have it anymore.
Oh, no wow. Penis. Oh, wow. Wait. Okay, I guess okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically just like whenever she has obviously one thinks she's really weird still, but this
Tony's like, no penis, I'm not watching it.
He's not watching it. Whenever she has a problem with someone, it's always like, oh well, they just had to go home. And there's like a whole thing where she's got like a whole shed, like just full of them. Pretty sure more kids die, like younger kids, not just other older kids, but we should watch it for sure, Tony. I need to show it to you because it's good.
Yeah, no, I definitely am interested to go down that rabbit hole and see the sequels of stuff that like.
What a big body count.
I like, like Prom Night 2. I haven't seen Prom Night 2. So like I've seen the originals. Have not seen some of those. So that would be a fun day just to go ahead and watch all the sleepaway camps, all the Prom Night 2.
I think it's either the third one or the fourth one where there's like a kid that just makes a bunch of dumb jokes or something like that. Like he always says something funny when he tries to run away. I can't remember which one it is. Like a kid with curly hair. Because I've seen all of them, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I know it's something that we're gonna have to jump into. Maybe we could do an all-out episode on that or something. We'll figure that out. I'll circle back to the franchise that Gabe mentioned, and I it's hard to pick because I was thinking of one, but it's technically not a sequel, so maybe we'll give it some love towards the end at some extra ones. I'm gonna choose Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. I think Dream Warriors came out at a time where Nightmare 2 was seen as a letdown amongst fans and critics. Wes had nothing to do with it. In hindsight, I think we can all agree like it's a fun movie, and even some love it, like Gabe and some others. But I think Nightmare 3 is like the pitch perfect sequel to the first movie. If you're going to do one based off Wes's ideas, you have Chuck Russell directing it, who made one of my favorite 80s horror movies in The Blob. and also Frank Darabont as well helped with the
Mhm.
writing on Nightmare 3.
I didn't know
And
this.
the iconic Dream Warriors song, you have the great practical effects. Larry Fishburne, a young Larry Fishburne is in there. So for me, like Nightmare 3 works on every level of, you have that perfect amount of jokey Freddy, scary Freddy. You have Heather Langenkamp leading a whole new group of kids. In a way, it's a legacy sequel before legacy sequels even happened. And a young Patricia Arquette in the lead role. Like it's a fun time. It's a really, really fun time, and it's one that I always go back to. Yeah, this is something that I agree with what Connor's saying too. Dream Warriors, that's one of the reasons why I do love it. It's got that pop MTV feel. When I think old VHS tape and stuff, I think Dream Warriors with the effects
Mhm.
and the coke, and I don't know. It's a fun time for me. I think some things obviously don't hold up, but in terms of its effects and cast, like it's the best. For me, that's the one I go back to a lot.
That's the one where he's the puppet, right? He puppets him off the side of the
Yeah, and
building.
it's the
I like
kid's
that one.
veins, and he's walking out, and then
That's
Fred.
crazy.
And there's a
Freddy
whole
turns into
sexual
TV.
innuendo when he's like the snake and he's eating Patricia Arquette
Didn't
legs first.
we watch that
Um,
the other day? It was on TV or something.
I did. I put on Dream Warriors when we were in Hawaii. Me and Victoria put in Hawaii. Were in Hawaii, and I put that on the TV. So
Ooh,
I had just watched
fancy
that recently.
Hawaii.
Yeah, it was fun. So I want to highlight one that I see Brett has picked out. One that needs more love is See No Evil 2, better than the first one. It has Danielle Harris and Catherine Isabel.
Oh, Brett, you lost Tony with Danielle Harris.
Yeah, you did. You did.
You did.
No, I like Danielle. She's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is fine.
I'm sorry that you're referencing a video that'll never see the light of day, and that's our Halloween 2 video where we all debated over Halloween 2.
Dude, you should actually. Okay, so if you guys are in the chats, ask Tony, like bombard Tony to release our Rob Zombie Halloween 2 Love Fest that me and Victoria had, while Tony just blasted us for loving this movie.
I just sat there and like moped, and we're just like,
You moped as far as
I watched it twice. I tried to rewatch it.
You did us dirty. Just release that tape of the old Flopbuster episodes of it.
Maybe. So See No Evil 2. Has anybody seen? I haven't seen either of them.
It's a wrestling movie, right?
Parts
It's
of the
like,
first one.
WWE, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
Kane, right?
I don't think it's Kane Hodder.
No, the wrestler.
No,
Kane.
it's Kane, wrestler. The Undertaker's brother. He's the one that wears the red suit with the red mask. What? When he first started wrestling.
Yeah.
I used to watch wrestling sometimes with my dad, but like not in forever. I don't know these new kids.
Brett says
Kane's
Daniel
not
Harris
new.
is a saint, guys. We need to be on the same
me.
page. She's fine.
Stop.
I like her in The Last Boy Scout. She was fun in that. She was good as Bruce Willis's daughter. Here's a good one from Connor. She's fine. Fuck you. At least you guys are all on the same page about this movie. I'm the odd guy out. It seems like everybody in the chat and you guys love it. We got Carlos in here saying release the Tory cut with H2. Yeah, we can. I can see if I can find it if I still have it.
Oh, if you can
definitely
find
have
it.
it.
Okay.
You definitely have it.
But yeah, that's let's see. We talked about Nightmare 2, Sleepaway Camp 2, and Nightmare 3.
Gabe's next pick if he has one, probably.
Yeah, let's go to Gabe. What's your next pick?
My next pick for slashers, as far as sequels are concerned, to be honest, it's always going to be one of my favorites in the franchise, because it's going to be, and you guys are going to laugh, it's going to be Jason X.
No, I 100% believe you when you say this, which is crazy.
It is my favorite sequel of the Friday the 13th franchise. We did a whole Love Fest video to it about a year ago. And it still holds up. I still love it. The kills are amazing. It's just I have so much fun with Jason X every single time I put it on. The way that he kills the entire whatever planet, star, whatever that's up there, and it's like thousands of people dead that he adds to his kill count. The way he's flying through space.
Into red slushy. So
Yeah.
Right. The way that he grabbed two girls in the hologram camp and just busting them up against the tree. I mean, it's just a really fun, really Jason movie. Like there's really no backlore to it. Like you don't need any plot to this movie. It's just Jason in a spaceship killing. That's all you needed.
I like it. It's fun.
You know what? Like as bad as it is, it's also very fun.
It's watchable.
So like honestly, like I'm not like totally against you guys with it. It's the same thing that we mentioned on the show. It's a tough movie to get through for me personally. But in the second half of it, when he becomes Uber Jason, oh man, it takes it to another level. It's a lot of dialogue to sit through from some really bad actors and actresses. But once he does Uber Jason shit, it's like exactly what you pay to watch.
So if you can use a hockey mask, but you can't use it. I mean, I would be fine if they just did an Uber Jason movie.
Right.
100% Uber Jason.
Robbed of in the game. Jason X was supposed to be the next map before the lawsuit.
Which was up, yeah. There was some footage of that too, and it looked pretty awesome. Honestly.
Robbed.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think Jason X it's a fun time. It's I think some of the effects are some of the best in the franchise. I'll say that. But then there's also some weird stuff that's in there too. Like it would be a really I wouldn't say fun double feature, but it would pair well with the Leprechaun in space.
Well, I don't think it would.
And then Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah, maybe it'll pair well with Fast and Furious 9. Who knows?
No, I think it would pair well with that. Was it the Ice Cube Mars or the John
Ghost of Mars?
Ghost of Mars.
Yeah. Yeah, that was supposed to be Escape from Mars with Kurt Russell, and then they had to change it during production. So Ice Cube is supposed to be Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. Yeah, interesting. A lot of movies, a lot of that stuff happens to movies all the time.
Why is it always Ice Cube? It was supposed to be.
How do you go from Kurt Russell to Ice Cube?
How do you go from Vin Diesel to Ice Cube and Triple X?
I think when you have a movie and you're like, fuck, the original actor does not want to come back. See what Ice Cube is doing. Ice Cube is up to something. Bring Ice Cube in here.
Yeah, what is Ice Cube doing? No Vaseline.
Easy. Damn, we got to make a sequel to Willy Wonka. Call Ice Cube. Get him down here. Yeah. Oh, here's a fun one. Connor saying Machete in space meets Jason X. That would be cool. That would be cool. That was supposed to be the third Machete movie. So we had a little teaser of that at the second one. It would be pretty sick.
Unfortunately, Danny Trejo is a little bit too old to be doing Machete.
He's like 75. For a while, he wasn't aging. for there was a hot minute when he was permanently 55. But now, like you could tell, he's aged. Me saying it does have one of the best kills in the series. I'll give it that. It does. I really do think it does. There's a couple in there that I really, really like. The sleeping bag kill is cool. It's a cool callback. I enjoy that one. Vic, what's the next pick on your list? What's another slasher movie you want to highlight?
I mentioned it earlier. They've got ghosts.
Maybe.
Looking around.
Wait, what did you say?
I said I was gonna. He was like kind of looking off into space. I'm like, what's there?
Oh, does he see ghosts?
Halloween.
Gabe's house is haunted.
It is.
It is haunted. I could tell you stories. There's a story about this house.
We'll talk about it after Halloween 2 because I actually do want everyone to hear it because it's scary.
Oh yeah. Yes.
So Halloween 2 from 1981, which is probably, I think obviously Halloween has a lot of unwatchable movies in their series, but it's one of the ones that's watchable for me. I think it feels more like Halloween than the first one. I don't know if that's because it always used to come on AMC, Fear Fest. I would come down. My dad had it on.
I think it's the music too. That soundtrack is more gothic feeling. Yeah. It's more operatic and stuff.
The soundtrack honestly rivals the original for me. I think in the second one, obviously the biggest difference too is there's a lot more blood, big time. Like there's a whole puddle of blood in this one. I know a lot of people don't like it. I've heard because Laurie's not in it as much, and she's wearing a wig, which I actually didn't know until recently that she was wearing a wig. But I don't know. I think Michael's scary. He's still creepy. Like the hospital setting is scary. It's like dead, which I also think is scary because why is that hospital so dead? And like the kid scarred me. The kid that has like the razor blade in his mouth. I always think about it. Even though, as I noticed on Dead Meat, he said apparently there was never even a case of that kind of thing in America, but you know, Halloween still did it, and you always hear about it. Like, always check your candy, like trick or treat. But I don't know. I just think it's done well. You got Mr. Sandman introduced now, finally, which was a staple in the Halloween series after that.
Right.
It's just so good. I think it's really good. It's always one I have to watch on Halloween night because to me it just feels the most like Halloween. And I think, you know, Donald Pleasance is descending more into madness. He's crazy.
This is his movie. He's like the star of the show in this, 100%.
He's going nuts. And, you know, Michael's, you know, stalking the neighborhood, which is cool. I don't know. there's an awesome shot, too, of when he goes to Mr. and Mrs. Elrod's house and he's just in the background holding the knife right before he leaves. There's just some really good shots in this one, I think.
I think that whole sequence is one of the best in the franchise, too. Him lurking through the alleyways.
Yeah.
It's truly awesome. There's a couple of things I want to highlight, but real quick, we got to show Connor's comments here because he's got some takes.
I will not fight you, Connor. I will be on the right side with you.
He's saying H2's got a better score than OG78. I agree with that. I think H2.
Still John Carpenter, so there's nothing wrong with saying that.
Right, him and Alan Horsworth, or I don't know how to say his name. I'm butchering it.
That sounds
right. But there was somebody else that helped with him on that. The dude that also helped with part 3, the music 2 and 3, and I believe he did the music for part 4. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody post his actual name. Right. But I do agree with that. I think H2, 3, Kills, and the reboot, I think, have the best music in the franchise.
Kills like knocked out of the park.
But I don't agree with this. I don't think Michael looks better in H2. I don't agree with that. I think Dick Warlock's head is way too big for the mask, so it's smushing against his face like this. So Michael just like looks weird, and he was also on like those heel lifts in his shoes, so he just looks like he was wearing heel lifts. So he seems a little awkward in the role. But I think H2 1981 is a very strong and good Halloween 2 sequel. And it makes sense with the way the story moves too. I think Rick Rosenfield, he did a pretty fine job with the material he was given.
Connor saying Alan Howard did the score.
Yeah, that guy.
2 through 6.
Yeah. He did a score for 2 for 6. And I think 2 and 3 are some of the best in the franchise. He did a great job with those 2 specifically.
I'm going to honorable mention Halloween 4 just because I don't want to have 2 Halloweens in my definite list. But I like Halloween 4. You know, watching it back, I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. But that was one I watched a lot as a kid on VHS, and I think that's why, because it was like also, you know, young Danielle Harris, so it was scary. Obviously, there's a whole lot of issues with it, like the mask and, you know, shit like that. But I don't know. I think that one's fun. I kind of wish everyone does wishes that they actually did something with Jamie at the end, but you know, what else? Then we got Halloween 5.
Did you say Danielle Harris?
Yeah, and Halloween
She's
4.
fine.
She's fine.
She's fine.
So
Goodwill Hunting saying, I'll give that to you, CM. Love part 7 there. They want to show some love for Friday the 13th part 7. I don't know if that's going to pop up on any of your guys' lists. I didn't have it on mine, but I love all the Friday the 13th. Anything that 1 through 7, I really, really love. And I do love all the weirdo sidekick shit in this movie, too. And it's got some of the best kills in the franchise. So I'm sure we'll talk about it in detail.
Don't mind me. Oh, I can't even go any brighter.
No, that's as bright as you can go until we get you a better light for now. I told you, things are going to be a little weird while we're in this adjustment, getting all the lights in and stuff. Hashtag She's Fine by Brett. Any thoughts on Halloween 2, Gabe?
I've only seen it once. I've actually seen Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 like 100 times. And I've seen the original H2 like once.
Damn.
Siskel and Ebert would have given 2009's Halloween 2 a thumbs down.
Two thumbs down because it was
2 thumbs down. And then Siskel would have been like, Roger, I hated this picture. I wouldn't even call it a picture. He would say something along the lines of that.
Probably,
or he would say, this is cinema.
He would not say that. They hated slasher movies. They hated Halloween 2 in 1981. So.
They probably would have petitioned the Smithsonian to keep a reel of that film in its archives.
Halloween 2 deserves a Criterion release, I think.
You know what's weird? It's that Halloween 2, 2009. Like, I jokingly say I don't like it. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't have like a hate on for it or even strong feelings.
I think
Like,
you
I
do.
just don't like. No, it was just like whatever to me. But like, I like most of his other movies in his filmography. I was like positive.
When
I had
you
a
were talking
somewhat
about
positive take on the first reboot of his.
when you talk about best music, I had to go to I had a face because I thought the first Rob Zombie Halloween had the best music because Rob Zombie having that music background, he knew how to set up every single shot to like the correct music and how to like parlay everything in. Yes.
Why did he play the Halloween theme while he's like in his locker at school?
Because he was getting ready to Halloween shit up.
He needs
Doing what?
Getting his mask.
He was getting ready to Halloween shit up in the park.
Honestly, no, I really like Rob Zombie. And then maybe we'll put up that video so people can see my thoughts too. But I think, to me, it felt like a guy that just doesn't want any part of those movies. It felt like they were forcing him to make those movies, and he didn't want to make those movies. And to me, you could see that on screen the entire time.
Well, he wanted to make the first one. The second one was pushed on him. But anyways,
it wasn't though. It wasn't though. They gave it to somebody else, and then he's like, "Well, I want to do it."
Well, yeah, because they were gonna butcher his vision.
Oh, those French guys. They did that 2017 Leatherface, I think.
Listen,
cool. Whatever it was.
Have you seen Leatherface yet, Tony?
No, I don't think it's with Stephen Dorff. No, I haven't seen it.
I'm going to show you tonight because that is good.
Is it? I haven't seen it. I've seen the Leatherface Texas Chainsaw 3 from like the 80s. That one, I like that one.
You've also seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
That movie's bad. That movie is bad. I've seen this uproar of people claiming like it's like so good and it's great. I was just like, did we watch the same movie? This was a bad movie, even by slasher standards. Which, like, you know, like we have a lot of fun with slasher movies, and at the end of the day, you want to see cool kills, cool effects, cool gore. That movie had that, and also had weird, like, gun-related issues for some reason, and a bunch of other stupid things. But I'm not going to mention that movie anymore.
What's your third pick?
What's your third pick already? Moving on. Moving on.
Halloween 2.
We're going off on tangents. You guys got me going on H2.
You are.
Well, everybody's coming at me. Okay, so
everybody's coming at you. It's better to be come at you than come down.
I'm actually gonna stick with the Friday the 13th franchise. I think Friday the 13th Part 2 is the perfect Friday movie. I love pretty much every film in the series. I think Part 4 is strong. I think Part 6 is really strong and a cool monster movie. But I think Part 2 is the perfect hangout summer movie with a killer on the loose. And you also have a great lead in Ginny. And just the shed, that whole, like, she's the best final girl in the whole series. I think the music, the cinematography, the characters, the kills are all like A+ as far as Friday goes. If there's a knock against it that I've seen a lot of people say is that he doesn't have the hockey mask. He looks stupid in the sack he's got. But I think for me, like, it's not a knock because I know the mask is coming. It's fine. It's whatever. But for me, if I'm going straight off, what is a perfect Friday the 13th kids at camp movie? I think Friday the 13th Part 2 is one of the best slasher sequels and one of my favorite slashers.
I like that one.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think Jason's sack is pretty scary. Mm-hmm. You know, it's. You
think his sack is pretty scary?
I think it's pretty scary. I mean, it's, you know, it only has, you know, one eye cut out in it.
Yeah.
You know, it's burlap sack. It's, I don't know. It's just the look itself is scary. The only knock that I have on it is at the end of the first Jason, we have what looks like a little boy at the end of it.
And in this one, he's like a grown dude.
This one's like he's a grown dude. Like, okay, in a matter of, because the movie makes it looks like it just spanned like a day or maybe even a week because she was in the hospital. All of a sudden, he's like a man in overalls and a sack. Right. I mean, he has, you know,
No, it's
But
true.
it's a good one.
Isn't
No,
that
that's
thing
I
where
love
like
it.
I don't know about part 2, but like part 3 and 4, maybe part 2 as well, take place only over like a weekend or something like that. Like the whole thing isn't Friday.
It's part
I think.
2 through 4.
Yeah.
They're all like sequential. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Part 1, I think there's like a few weeks of difference. There's a website, Friday, a whole like timeline where they break down all the events of the original timeline. Because you'd be surprised the years difference. It's like the time jumps and whatnot. There's a lot of time jumps by the time you get to 5 and 6.
Yeah.
But I think too, in terms of those original films, I think part 2 nails everything that you want out of a Friday the 13th movie, and I think it makes Jason scary, and it just there's a lot of really good suspense, and it's directed by Steve Miner, who's made some really fun slasher movies, H2O.
Yeah.
So for me, like everything works in it. It's good.
Yeah. That's a
What's
good
another
pick.
pick? Yeah, no, I think it's a solid pick. What's another one for you, Gabe?
This is my second favorite franchise of all time. I know it's your least favorite. You always have shit to talk about him, but Child's Play 2. You hate Chucky, and I know this for a fact. So don't even try to.
This isn't true.
It's true.
This isn't true.
But Child's Play 2, I think it's one of the rare instances where the
When is
sequel.
Gabe gonna like not? Every time he says a pick on every episode, he sets me up as the villain, so everybody's against me. And then he goes on to say his point. He goes, "By the way, Tony hates what I'm about to say. He hates this movie that I'm about to say." And then
Because we've had these private conversations where you don't like Chucky. You don't like the Chucky character.
I think he's fine.
See,
I think the first movie is really, really good.
Oh no, I think the second one outshines the first one. I think this is the rare instance where the sequel is better than the original.
That's crazy talk. I'll let you go ahead and continue your point because I got.
It's not crazy talk at all.
Go ahead and say it because I got a counter.
Oh, you got a counter? Just give me your counter.
I think Child's Play 2 is fine. I think it's a well done, well crafted slasher movie. But the first movie, the element of surprise, the shock, the suspense, everything's in that first movie. Every good idea out of that franchise came from Tom Holland and that first movie. That original film. That's it. Anything Don Mancini claims to have done, anything after, fine. Fans can have it. I'll take the first movie, which is the only good movie within that franchise. Other than the reboot, which is pretty good. I think the reboot's pretty good.
Yeah, the reboot's good. Okay, but Lies, you just don't like Mancini is all.
No, I
get it. I get it. But at the beginning, Child's Play 2 is just an amazing sequel. The way everything is set up, you don't know how he's coming back. How are you going to bring back, a doll?
You don't know how he's coming back? They tell you how he's coming back. They show you.
Yeah, they show you in every single slasher sequel. But Chucky was different because Chucky was possessed by Charles Lee Ray.
Somebody make shirts that just it's my quotes. Like we'll post a picture of like a movie or like big posters. Just like a critic's quote. Tony Crespo, it's fine.
Also, I wanna make a point because I don't know if she's gonna comment or not. Oh, I'm sorry. My friend Rachel, one of my best friends, Rachel, she's texting me separately because she likes to watch our streams and my streams. And even though as I'm saying this, she's saying the acknowledgement is why I'm scared to say anything. But she agrees with you, Tony. She wants to.
Thank you.
She does not like Chucky either.
Yeah, no.
Y'all wrong.
Dave, I know you love
sorry,
Chucky,
Rachel.
so I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not gonna say like he's
that.
bad or anything.
I was gonna say Child's Play 2 as well, though. That was in my list.
That's in your
list. Was it? See?
It was one. I want a bigger list, but it was one.
It's not like a shock to me because I know a lot of people love Child's Play 2. I just think
just action.
They're entertaining. That's as far as it goes. They're entertaining.
It's fine.
So she says, "How dare you? How dare you acknowledge me?"
Thank you for agreeing with me.
One of the few people that agree with you.
A lot of people. I think the effects in part 2 are really, really cool. I think a lot of the kills work, especially with the teacher. That's one of the scariest parts in the movie.
Cool, yeah.
The continuation of using Andy was a great idea. Not having his mom in the movie, bad idea.
He had to go up to foster care.
Why?
His mom couldn't take care of him anymore.
Why?
Because she went crazy.
No, scheduling conflicts. That's what happened.
That's why.
Scheduling conflicts. No, but that's a pretty good pick. I know a lot of people love Child's Play too, so there's nothing in there that like I would say like I don't like. Like it's fun when it's on. I have a fun time with it.
You just don't like
Mancini.
You have a thing against Mancini, and you always will. Mancini.
I think I do because as much as people love his work and his shows and stuff, a lot of these things he claims to be the creator of Chucky, right? I think a lot of the stuff that we love about that character came from Tom Holland, who openly says, "Hey, all the stuff that you love about that character came from me." Tom Mancini came up with the basis of his script.
That's fine, but Tom Holland wasn't even born yet.
Oh, it's Spider-Man Tom Holland? No, he was not born yet. He was born.
No, here's the issue, right? There's fine.
Director Tom Holland.
Tom Holland did all this, right? But there's a difference, right? Tom Holland did the first movie.
He did.
And that was it, right? He obviously didn't have passion for the project to continue it on. So I would have to give props to Mancini because he loved the project and he continued it on through freaking 7 movies. Some of them are completely horrible, and a TV show. He's very passionate about this. So as a horror fan, why not acknowledge his passion instead of hating on him because he's saying that he's the creator?
I don't hate him. I admit that I'm in the minority. There's a couple things, and I think, they just happen to all be in this episode, H2 and Chucky, but for me, it's the first movie, and then you guys can have the rest. That's it. I think the first one is awesome. I think it's great. It's one of the best horror movies of the 80s. But I don't need the rest of the movies. You guys can have those. And Bride of Chucky's pretty fun. I like Ronnie Yu. He's a good director.
Also, I want to say Julian's here saying F Nancy.
Oh, Connor agrees with me. Hold on. Julian saying fuck Nancy. But Connor saying I do hate Mancini. Thank you, Connor. I don't hate Mancini, but somebody's with me on this whole like weird Mancini love fest that he gets. Honestly, I haven't watched the show. I heard it's great. I would rather they just continue the sequels with the new reboot that they're doing. And then, I would love to see a sequel to that.
So would I.
It was good.
Mia has a good, not even a hot take in my opinion, if you want to highlight it, Tony. She says,
yes.
OG Friday the 13th is the most boring of the franchise. I would agree. It's one of them. I don't rank it very high.
I think the more that that's a series where it like the best ones definitely outshine that first one because think about that movie came out in 1980 and that big twist.
Iconic.
There's has zero effect on us because we know the twist. How do we get Jason? We need to know the twist of the first one.
Right.
I think that's a big factor. That selling point of that first movie is the twist. Because other than that, a lot of critics at that time and audiences just thought it was a Halloween ripoff. The creation of Jason and Jason becoming the villain is what really brings that franchise into the stratosphere. So no, I can see how some people can find the first one boring. I don't see that as a hot take. I think a lot of people would agree with you, Mia.
I agree.
I agree.
I think it's low on my rankings.
I wouldn't say it's boring, but it's definitely like in the not lower, but definitely middle lower.
It's a mid tier. It's mid tier as far as the Jason rankings are concerned.
I think the performances in that are really fun. It's cool seeing Kevin Bacon get killed off. So a lot of cool Tom Savini effects in that.
Right.
But I honestly could see how some people can find the first one to be whatever. Or in my case, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Victoria, what's your pick?
My next one?
Yeah.
I think this is the first one that isn't a second movie in the franchise. Actually, no, you said Jason X. Just kidding. We're sticking with Friday the 13th. I'm going to say Friday Part 3 is probably one of my favorites. Probably because, again, that's one I grew up more watching because it's one of my dad's favorites. When I was in makeup school, I modeled my final prosthetics exam after Friday Part 3 Jason. He runs, he's the human Jason, and it's best form, I think, after Part 2. Because like I said, he runs, he grunts, he gets the mask for the first time. The cast is really fun.
Yeah.
There's a really creepy scene, I'm pretty sure, in this one where she's daydreaming and he has the no mask on. He's looking out the window and he runs. He runs. That's the scary, is that he runs. You're not getting away from Jason when he runs.
Right.
I don't know. I just think the kills are good. I like the whole spiel with Shelley, how he's like always playing pranks on them, and then when he's actually dead, no one believes him. And I think he's like actually involved in like updating on the Friday lawsuit.
He is.
Like
He's a lawyer.
The actor is like in control of it for some reason, which is funny. He's an icon, and just like, I mean, obviously the scenes that are 3D are like very obviously those. You know, it's not. I'm trying to think how to word this. It's they shot those scenes so they could be 3D.
Right. There's something I want us to go to in LA, and maybe next time they do it, we can find a way to prepare for it. Okay, we got to get you down here, and we got to go to it. They play it in 3D. I forget which theater, but people come and it's packed. They show multiple showings of it. Maybe, but it's in modern 3D. It's not like the red and blue 3D glasses. It's in modern real 3D. And I've heard it's amazing. It's the best way to watch the movie. So I would be so excited to do that. If we could do that, that would be outstanding because I've heard nothing but good things.
This one too has like, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, damn, yeah, this might be one of my favorite Fridays. Is like, also has the really cool opening scene where they're running that little market and he's kind of in between the drying sheets and he's, you know, I don't know. There's just, I love everything about it. Again, it was on AMC a lot as well. And I always watch AMC Fear Fest. It's in all the ads for AMC Fear Fest. He gets the slash on his head. And it leads into one of my favorite scenes too, that my dad always talked to me about. Sorry. It's in part 4, but when like everything kind of, you know, they've taken Jason away, yada yada, everything is left Camp Crystal, like the helicopters are leaving, the ambulance, and it's just like dead silence, like this massacre just didn't happen there. I don't know. I think the third and fourth one, also I'll add that into it, are just like the two, probably some of my favorite ones. Like my most marathon ones is probably part 3 and 4, and especially part 3.
Right.
No, I agree. I think part 3 is a lot of fun. Chris Higgins is one of the strongest protagonists behind Jenny for sure. One of the most iconic movies of the franchise too. I mean, he gets the mask in that one. Yeah. So I love watching part 3. For a while, part 3 was one of my favorites. But I feel like, within recent years, part 2 has taken that spot.
Julian is asking if we talked about Dream Warriors, and yes, we did.
We talked about Dream Warriors.
That's it. That's all you get.
We talked about Dream Warriors.
It's fine.
So what's the next one? What are we talking about, guys? What's another?
You're the next one now.
You're the next one now. Yeah.
So you know what's crazy? It's mainly the.
Unless you just want me to like go in on everything.
No, I feel
it could be the Gabe and Victoria show now.
Yep,
I know, because I've been like hating on everything that's been brought up. Because Gabe's been like saying Tony hates us, by the way, and then proceeding to say that thing. Man, I lost my train of thought because you guys have taken some good ones. Halloween 2 was on my list from 1981. I think it's a solid movie. I think, you know, a lot of critics won at it at the time. But I think a lot of the kills in that, the cinematography is outstanding. It's still Dean Cundey from the first movie. And it does have that Halloween season feel more so than the first one. Bigger budget, obviously. Music is outstanding. But you know what? I'm going to go recent. And I was juggling with the 2. But fuck it. I'm just going to go with the one that seems to be the most hated one within a lot of horror communities. Even though it's got pretty fine critical reception, was a huge box office hit. Halloween 2018. I feel like the internet has kind of scared anybody away from talking about it because
I love that
they hyped up this movie in their head to be something that it was never going to be. And then when it wasn't that, they got mad about it. But in my opinion, I think Halloween 2018 succeeds at what it attempted to do. Bring Michael Myers into the 21st century, make him a killing machine again, make him a big box office draw, bring back John Carpenter do the music, bring back Jamie Lee Curtis in a big leading role, have a crowd-pleasing third act that many will like. I think overall it's the most fine-tuned out of the Halloween movies besides the first one. I think 2018 knows exactly what the mission is and succeeds at the mission. I think it's a shame that some people wanted it to do more than that. And just because it didn't, it's a bad movie. My opinion, I think it's a great movie. And certainly one of the stronger slasher movies of the past 10 years, too. There's some great kills in that. I think the cinematography is really good. Those are things I look for in horror movies, certainly slasher movies. The new John Carpenter score was awesome, man. I can't stop thinking about that. The new Michael, everything about it. I really liked it.
Can I say the most tired complaint I am sick of hearing is that he's old. He can't do that. Like, have y'all never seen Sylvester Stallone? Like, even Danny Trejo, like, is only slowing down now, and he's 75. Like, I am so sick of it. Shut up. He's old. We get it. He can still move. Have you seen him? Oh, like, people saying that part's not realistic? I don't know. It just drives me nuts. Like, shut up. You're so boring.
He's a spry 60-year-old.
That's my hate talk of this.
He's in shape. Who knows what he was doing in that prison?
He had 40 years to get swole.
Push-ups and sit-ups and all that kind of
stuff. He
stuff.
doesn't talk to anyone, so what's he going to do? Work out.
The thing that gets me with slasher movies and slasher fans, because they get so mad because they want this, they want that. And at the end of the day, what they're asking for is the movie that's in their head. They want the movie that's in their head because the movie looked better in their head. Of course, anything you dream up looks better than what it actually is. But at the end of the day, I want my nightmare movies to be in Springwood. I want Freddy to be slashing kids, so on and so forth. Friday the 13th, Camp Crystal Lake. I like the very simple premise of kids at camp getting killed off, kids in Haddonfield getting killed off, bringing Laurie Strode back into it. And I think the movie checked off all those things that made me happy and why I like these movies to begin with. And if you can succeed at that, then I'll like the movie. And I think the movie, because it's talked about so much, people forget that it's good. It's a solid, fun time. That's all it needs to be. In other words, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's
I drove that movie into the ground when it came out. Me and my dad, it's always on TV. Halloween.
It's always on TV. Yeah.
I saw that movie 3 times in theaters.
I did too.
It was good.
It's not a movie that I revisit like all the time. I don't think it's like one of the best movies of the decade or anything, but it's fun. I honestly can't see many things wrong with it besides like little nitpicks that I would have with like editing and stuff, but that doesn't matter. This is a slasher movie, right? What are your thoughts, Gabe? I know you're not the Halloween guy.
I'm not the Halloween guy. I'm the wrong guy to ask about Michael Myers and Halloween because it's my least favorite franchise. I just find them boring in a sense.
You love the most un-Halloween one, which shows that you're not the biggest fan of this of the shape.
Right. I mean, I love Rob Zombie's 1 and 2. I put those as my number 1 and 2 Halloween movies. I would put Season of the Witch, which is a non-Michael Myers Halloween movie, higher.
Which is great.
Right. I would put that in like my top 5. And then after that, maybe the original one, it's my top 5. And then I think it's like H2O and Resurrections, which again, it's none that everybody else puts those movies at the bottom of the list that I rank them higher just because I have more fun with those. And I'm not like into the methodology of Halloween, I guess.
You brought up another one that I really liked and I was debating putting on the list, which is another one everybody complains about, which this movie has one problem and one problem only. It's the mask. There's like 20 masks in this movie. There's a CGI mask. There's a bunch of stuff. It's H2O. H2O is a fun late 90s Dimension Films Scream ripoff Halloween movie. If the biggest knock against it is it's too much like other movies at that time period, that's not totally a bad thing. Like it's well done. It's well crafted. And again, you get a great lead in Jamie Lee Curtis, which that's one of the bigger elements of this franchise.
And please don't forget about Josh Hartnett in it.
Never.
Oh, Josh Hartnett was great. You know who's great in this movie?
Such a sweetheart.
LL Cool J steals the show in this movie as Ronnie.
No, but a movie that I wanted to bring up as well as a great sequel, Psycho 2005.
Great one.
Oh, that's one of my favorites in the franchise.
I know.
2005.
No, but listen, there's been a lot of Halloween talk between you two lovers of Halloween.
Right.
So I'm gonna bring it back down to Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects. It is.
I was gonna put that, and Tony's like, that doesn't count, bitch. It does.
Does it count? Would you consider that a slasher movie?
Through and through slasher movies.
I considered it more of like one of those 70s road trip exploitation movies. But I guess if you guys are including it, go for it. I mean, if Victoria was saying it, I'm like, I don't know if it qualifies as slasher, but do it.
I think it class. I think it class. I mean, if if we're looking at a House of a Thousand Corpses, and I look at that as a slasher, why wouldn't Devil's Rejects, the sequel, not be a slasher?
The way I saw it from Rob Zombie's comments is that he was kind of rebooting his own idea. So that's why I didn't think of, like, does that count as a sequel? Because it's from their perspective, and it's very much like Thelma and Louise or something, but with a lot more violence.
I know you don't count it as a sequel, but when he came out with 3 from Hell and he basically said he's finishing up his trilogy,
That's true.
Devil's Rejects automatically became a sequel.
Hey, you guys, if that's one that you consider a slasher sequel, then let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Devil's Rejects.
I mean, we could go back to talking about Psycho 2005 if you want.
That's one of the best ones, and I think we should.
But
Owen Wilson was great in Psycho 2005.
No, but Devil's Rejects was just the perfect way to like start off a little bit different from House of a Thousand Corpses. You have the Firefly family. You had all the iconic characters, and then he took them and he like, as crazy as they were in the first one, he turned it up to like 10 on the second one, and they were just batshit crazy, you know. And they had some sweetheart moments, like when they were looking for ice cream and they wanted that 2D fucking fruity.
I love that scene. Me and my dad quote that scene all the time.
Because you know what though, it's because as much as you see like a lot of these killers, right? And I hate humanizing killers in a sense, but he really made them human in that sense. It's like, all right, these guys are about to go fuck some shit up. They're on the run, but yeah, hey, let's get some fucking tutti frutti. Like, I want some ice cream. You want some ice cream? Dad, yeah, sure, let's take some ice cream. I ain't stopping for an ice cream. Let's go get ice. It's like a whole fucking family adventure film set up in that little scene. And I was like, it's perfect. I don't know. I just love the way that the Devil's Rejects is. And I put it as one of the best, sequels to a movie ever.
I agree. That's a really good one.
I know Tony hated it.
No, I love the Devil's Rejects. Victoria knows I fucking love that movie. This is Rob Zombie's masterpiece. This is like his, if there's any, I don't know if he gets better than that because he puts everything into this. His heart, his soul, the music. The music is some of the best music in the genre. The needle drops that he picks in this are awesome. The casting choices are fantastic. The way the movie's shot is gritty and dark, vicious. It's got this 16 millimeter look to it. The Midnight Rider choice at the beginning of the movie with the gun click, the freeze frame, everything about it. Devil's Rejects is truly his masterpiece. Yeah, and you know what? This is one of those where Rob was known for one type of filmmaking, and this kind of transcended the genre because a lot of people kind of saw it for what it was, but we're like, there's some real filmmaking here. There's real grit and gravitas, and when you watch a movie, Tarantino style, Robert Rodriguez's style, John Carpenter. When you watch The Devil's Rejects, you know what a Rob Zombie movie is. If you want to show somebody what's a Rob Zombie movie like, this is it. So yeah, I agree. If we're including The Devil's Rejects, then it's one of the best horror sequels ever made. I want to take some comments real quick. So let's cover those, and then we'll start wrapping up soon. Maybe we'll do one more round. I know you guys probably got a couple more you want to mention.
Well, that was Gabe's other pick, so now we'll probably do one more me, one more you afterwards.
Yeah, let's see these comments, and then Victoria next. So we got Connor saying, now he was saying this isn't a slasher movie, but he just wanted to declare that Conjuring 2 better than The Conjuring. What do you guys think?
The Conjuring 2 was the one with the nun, right?
That was with the nun.
We went to England.
And the England. Ooh. That's tough.
I love the second
I love all the Conjuring.
I'm gonna have to disagree just because I think The Conjuring is so iconic.
I think I was hating Possession. Like I've always stated, I love Possession. I love devil type movies, and I was having an issue for many years with some of the stuff that was coming out. And then I saw the first Conjuring, and that legit scared me. And I was like, "Ooh, this is good." And yes, I would still say that, I don't know, I'm going to say The Conjuring is better than Conjuring 2 still.
I agree.
You know what? I love The Conjuring 2, and I think it's the bigger means better sequel. If you're it's literally a bigger sequel. There's more going on. There's more heart. It's scary as hell.
It's still scary.
nothing takes away from the first Conjuring because it sneaks up on you. It was a cultural moment. When I saw that in theaters, it was a packed crowd. Nobody knew what that was going to be. If you're talking about the best horror movies, you're talking about the 2010s, you're talking about Get Out, you're talking about Hereditary. The Conjuring needs to be on there because James Wan makes the perfect haunted house movie. And the sequel is great. It's one of the best horror sequels. But man, that first one, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see him coming out the gates making something that was going to be iconic, spawn a franchise, probably the biggest horror franchise ever at this point.
Right. Which I want to say, I just want to take a minute just to say, like, could we stop like saying like The Conjuring isn't scary because it's now a franchise? Because I've seen a lot of talk about that, how, you know, The Conjuring and the Conjuring universe, and you know, they're not scary. But when The Conjuring first got made, it wasn't meant to be a franchise. I mean, like you said, it was on smaller scale, you know, and because of its success, that's when they, you know, blew up that budget to, you know, take it to bigger lengths with The Conjuring 2, and then that's when the universe started.
Plus, I think I like the Conjuring movies, even the bad ones, like kind of like The Nun, I didn't really like, but they always find a way to like tie it in to the other movies. And that's what they're really, it's not just a random universe where they're just, you know, marketing off of all these different demons. It's like, there's a reason, we're going to tie it all together. You're fine. Like, they're all good besides The Nun. I don't like
The Nun just came across to me like it was just being chopped up in the editing room. At some point, the studio.
The Nun was fan service because people wanted the backstory on the demon Valak, and that's what they did. Is they rushed it. They gave everybody a Valak story, and it was just like, that's fine.
Yeah. It's whatever. It's, you know, that one I wouldn't say it's fine. I would say that one's pretty bad. The Nun is pretty bad. I don't know if I've met anybody that loves that movie, but I think it's well directed. I just think that story wasn't it. But they're making a sequel.
Vera Farmiga's sister's in it, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they're.
Oh yeah, she is. She's one of the nuns.
So that's going to be interesting to see how they do the sequel. But Conjuring 2 is one of the better horror sequels of the past few years. I mean, that's the good thing about the Conjuring films is, you know, at least they take swings.
Right.
Maybe not all of them are great.
My only issue is that because of how great the Conjuring universe has been, New Line has decided to halt any Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
So you have a bone to pick.
I do.
So he's pissed.
You know, the house that Freddy built, they're like, nah, we're good with the Warrens and their universe. We don't need Freddy right now. The world needs Freddy. The world needs more Freddy Krueger.
While we're on James Wan, quickly before we move on back to actual slashers, Insidious 2 is also like an incredible sequel, but it's not a slasher, but it's good. It's really scary. Patrick Wilson is the best.
Right.
Yeah, he's good. He's doing his best like Jack Nicholson.
Patrick Wilson is like a horror king, you know, like a scream king.
We don't have that many like final boys. He's one of the final boys.
Final Boys just sounds a little bit with a little sexual undertone with that.
What do you want, Final Men? What would the term be for
Final Men? Final guys.
Boys. The Final Boys.
Final guys.
Final dudes?
No. Final Boys. I know you're trying to not to give in, but I know you want to call it the Final Boys.
Oh, hey. He's the final boy.
He's the
final guy.
He's the final boy. But no, it's true. Patrick Wilson is definitely one of the guys in horror that always seems to make it out alive.
And I know they did this on the Good Real Hunting show, but James Wan, and I know we when we talked about Eggers 2 weeks ago, we forgot to mention James Wan and how great he's been in developing horror for a lot of, you know, horror movies and horror franchises, Insidious and you know, Saw, Conjuring, all these great movies that he started, that he's done, and he needs to be up there and recognized a little bit more for what he's done for the horror community.
I agree.
I think he's the top dog. I think Astor and Eggers, who I love, especially Eggers, and Jordan Peele, who's great. I think those guys make great horror films, but James Wan makes great horror films for all audiences. If you talk about the greats like Wes Craven, John Carpenter, Alfred Hitchcock, they made movies that all audiences would enjoy. Right? Like we're gonna remember, like, of course we're gonna remember Get Out and Hereditary, but James Wan seems to restructure and redefine the genre once every 5 years.
Right.
I think he right now, James Wan, even if he just made Malignant not too long ago, but he mainly does these big blockbusters as of recently. To me, he's still the big guy. He's the top dog.
Mm-hmm.
He is, and I would go out and say this about James Wan, and I sort of lost my train of thought about it. But what I wanted to, yeah, I lost it. Never mind me. I lost it.
You want a second?
Go ahead. You guys talk amongst yourself.
Victoria, what is your last pick?
Oh, probably Scream 4. I think is really good. It's fitting that Hayden Panettiere is coming back now, and it's on my list. I think it's good. I think a lot of people don't like that one. I think I've seen, but I saw this one in theaters. I think it's fun. I think the cast is really good. Emma Roberts is really good as spoiler alert, the killer. And I feel like I'm pretty stupid when it comes to Scream movies. Everyone's always like, "Oh, I saw it coming." I don't see shit coming. Maybe I'm just dumb. But I usually never guess the killers in the Scream, except maybe I think I guessed one in the new one. But I don't know. It's just good. I like the aspect of what's the thing? How do I word this? Like how they're filming everything, because I think like it was kind of on the rise of like vloggers and YouTubers and things
like vlogging and stuff, and like it's kind of like in a way it's like a snuff film because they're like making their own movie and putting it out there.
And like Courtney Cox is really good in it, I think, a lot, like especially in this one because she's like got a hate on for I forget the cop's name, the one that makes lemon squares. Judy, right?
Judy.
So she's got a hate on for Judy, and she's so determined to be a writer again and be a reporter again that it's a lot of Courtney Cox's movie, and I think it's really good.
Like, absolutely, yeah.
The kills are brutal. Their friend Olivia that dies in her room is just, oh my god, like disgusting. I don't know. I honestly really like all the Scream sequels, but I really like 4 a lot. I think it's just done well. I look forward to watching it every time I do. Sydney's really cool. I don't know. I just really like Jill as the killer is really cool, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Scream 4 is a great back to basics approach. And the new cast is a lot of fun. I think, but it's definitely not like a legacy sequel. It's weird because when that movie was being marketed, it was like one of the first legacy sequel things, but then it's totally Sydney's movie and Gail's movie still. So it's a cool precursor to Scream 5, which is truly a reboot. So it's a good final chapter for them, I guess, for that arc.
Yeah, they have a few stars in the cast too, like Hayden Panettiere, Emma Roberts.
Eric Roberts.
Alison Brie plays her publicist.
Alison Brie,
right,
yes.
Which I always forget she's in this movie.
The guy that does the videotaping is from Saw 2, I believe.
And doesn't it start off with Jenna?
Oh yeah, a whole bunch of celebrities. Kristen Bell.
Anna Paquin.
The girl.
Kristen Bell and Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin, the girl from Pretty Little Shailene. No. Oh my God, Lucy Hale's in it in the beginning, and the girl that's with Lucy Hale is also from another like teen show, but I can't remember who it is. But yeah, there's like a whole bunch of things. I don't know. It's just a really good movie to me. Like Scream's obviously always been self-aware, but 4 is like very self-aware, I think.
No, I think 4. I mean, the whole Scream franchise does a really good job of keeping that consistency. Even 3 as being the weakest, like it's still better than most slasher sequels.
Yeah.
Cool. I honestly, I don't think I have like a final one I really want to highlight. I guess we can go to the chat and see if there's any slasher sequels that they think we should talk about. If not, we can start wrapping things up. I know Brett mentioned John Krasinski in terms of new horror directors that are pretty great. I agree.
I remembered my train of thought.
Quiet Place Part 1 and 2. Love those movies.
Is what I wanted to say is that people need to stop looking down at like PG-13 horror just because it's not rated R, but because there's a lot of people that start off watching horror with PG-13. There's still a lot of parents that are strict about what their kids watch.
Yeah. And
PG-13 is a great gateway to some of the, more brutal horror that, how more, I could get. So I don't know, PG-13, I don't think it's all bad horror. I don't think it's all good either, but I mean, it has its place just like everything else. And I think that's what James Wan is. Going back to that is tying it all together is James Wan just does horror where you could be 14, 15, watch a horror movie and not get totally like creeped out or scared, and your parents would be okay for you to watch it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And he also makes Malignant and Saw, where it's like, if you want something that's gory and crazy and off the charts and wildly of the genre, then you can watch that stuff too. He does good with the PG-13 rating, with the R rating. So that's one of my favorite elements of him. He can really adapt to anything and turn out something really, really good.
Absolutely.
Brett also mentioned that, Adam Brody was in Scream 4 as well.
Yes, Adam Brody was in Scream 4. He played one of the cops with Anthony Anderson. That movie's stacked with like a huge cast. Like there's a big cast in that. And they had quite the budget too. I think it was the highest budget of the franchise.
Oh, the franchise?
I think it's like 25, 30 million, something like that.
Okay.
So let's see. Oh, here's one that we can mention because I really love it. Connor mentioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I know it's more of like a black comedy, a parody. Dennis Hopper is crazy in that movie. The kills are really, really cool, but it's just a bizarro movie. It's out there. That one is really fun. I don't know if you guys have seen part 2, but I love it.
It's been a while since I saw it.
That's one where it's like, I know everybody rips on the sequels in that franchise, but I think that one holds up still. At least for trying new things and staying fun as well. Brett says, Juan made a guy who talks to fish look badass too. That's true. He did do that. And he came in and saved Fast and Furious 7 when that was in production troubles and whatnot. So he was able to right the ship on that. Anything else you guys want to highlight for the episode?
No, I think that's it as far as what I would want to highlight.
Yeah, we talked about everything, the Kirby news. Apparently, I think everything is just fine.
Just fine.
It's fine.
You're the guy that's like, everything is on fire, that meme, and you're just like, oh, it's fine.
It's fine.
Well,
no, we can wrap it up here. If anybody's going to Monsterpalooza, me and Victoria are most likely going to be there. So we'll see you all there. If not, Mad
Monster, you guys got a booth for autographing?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
I'm signing OnlyFans pictures for the show. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But nothing else in terms of the channel. I think the new spot's going to be Thursday for the main show.
Yes.
We'll talk more if we decide to do an after show for Joe Bob Bricks, and I know we're going to tweet along with that. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch those movies on Friday nights. And then in terms of other reviews and stuff, I know I'm going to put out at some point this month the new video essay, and I know I'm waiting on Gabe's for Freddy. So I know we got those videos coming too.
And then I'm going to probably do a review of Firestarter that comes out, that apparently came out today. Peacock was saying Friday, and it's out tonight. So I'll watch it tomorrow, and I'll put up a review of Firestarter probably on TikTok. So if you guys haven't followed me there, go ahead and follow me there at Flopbuster83 for the TikTok.
Anything else you? Oh, go ahead.
The what?
A link tree. I was making one earlier for it's a place you can just link one link, and it's got like all your links, like social media. So I'll probably do that for you guys.
Ooh, interesting. Gracias.
And then Victoria, I know the Final Girls are going to do their first stream on Sunday.
Yep. So Final Ghouls is our new name, which I think we talked about recently, just because Final Girls, obviously, it's really popular. It's probably copyrighted somewhere. But Final Ghouls, I think we're going to be talking Megan Fox movies.
Did I say
'Cause,
Final Girls?
You
Sorry,
did.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Final
We've been
Ghouls.
talking about Final Girls and stuff all episode. I think
Yeah,
it was
right. We were gonna talk maybe Joe Bob Briggs and like whatever movies they were talking about on the last drive-in, but not everyone can
Right.
watch it on Friday, or it only comes out on Sundays if you don't see it Friday, so that won't be out in time. So I think obviously like Jennifer's Body,
Jennifer's. Oh, wait, listen, Megan's Body too.
Megan's Body
Body's
might
fine.
be the sequel to Jennifer's Body.
Jennifer's Body, Till Death, maybe Transformers. That's one I've seen. Megan
This
Fox.
is 40. She's in This Is 40.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a huge
Probably.
list to go off of for her.
We'll talk about her drinking Machine Gun Kelly's blood, probably. But yeah, that's gonna be Sunday. It's gonna be our first YouTube stream, so that now we can finally start saving them, kind of like this. So yeah, that's what we do. We're trying to do every week. We don't have like a solid day yet, but we try to do every week.
Cool, awesome, Gabe. I'll let you close this out, and then we'll start ending the stream. I want to thank everybody that joined us today in the chat. It was a really fun episode. I had a lot of fun talking about these movies with you guys. Can't wait for next week, whatever that topic may be.
Oh, also quickly, we're all going to be on Flet Lives on May 22nd, I believe, to talk 2010s horror. Right? Sure. Yes, that's the right day? Okay.
Yes. So sometime soon here.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Gabe, close us out.
So for Tony, Victoria, and I, this is Gabe signing off here, and I want you guys to forget our sponsor, Jarritos here. They're delicious with some tacos. So go ahead and have some tacos this weekend. Enjoy a nice Jarritos. Lots of different flavors. So.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment,
comment, subscribe.
OnlyFans, TikTok.
Coming soon.
And then Pornhub. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you for watching.